So here we have Richard, who was waiting for his vaccine, finally heard someone he knew. Um, Now, who was waiting for his vaccine? That is telling us something about Richard. So that is going to be an adjectival clause modifying Richard, and we call those relative clauses. Um, so Richard heard. So we'll figure this all out as we go on. But for sure, Richard heard is the subject verb combination. So let's start there. So Richard heard. What got heard? Someone. So that's the basic shape of this sentence. So we test for transitivity. What got heard? Someone. That's what, or that's whom. So far so good. So now we have this relative clause who was waiting for his vaccine, and the relative clauses. We need a baseline. The subject is who. Who was waiting? Who? That's who. Who was waiting? Of course, the who refers back to Richard. And so I'll do this now. So this is who is the relative pronoun, and we draw a dotted line up to the thing it's referring to, that it's pointing back to. And what got weighted? Well, that isn't even a possible question in English, so we know that to wait is not ever going to take a direct object. So we've got this. Of course, we would look at the preposition for there and know that that can't be a noun. So it's adverbial. Waiting why for his vaccine. That's why. Which vaccine? His vaccine. So adjective. So Richard, who was waiting for his vaccine, finally heard when? Finally. That's when. So that goes there. It's an adverb modifying heard. Now, he knew is just sort of hanging out in space. Which someone or what kind of someone? Someone he knew. That's what kind of someone. So that's adjectival. So that means it's not another independent clause hanging out there. He is the subject, knew is the verb. So the question is, though, then how do we connect this to anything? And here we see that there has to be a relative pronoun that has been elided or left out, as you can do. It's not an error or anything. So if it weren't elided, you would say, he finally heard someone whom he knew. It would be whom and not who, because it's the direct object of knew. So in the diagram, we do put it in there. We put it in brackets to show that it has been elided, but it is still there. And we do the dotted line back to someone to which it refers. And in looking at the different phrases in this, let's see. We have, as far as noun, so what nouns do we have? We have vaccine. We have someone. So these are pronouns. We have Richard. Now, and that's it. So the noun phrases, we have his vaccine. Um, Richard, who was waiting for his vaccine, could count as a noun phrase. Someone he knew, that's a noun phrase. So I'm just looking at whenever you have anything hanging off a noun, you have a noun phrase. So those are our noun phrases. And prepositions, well, we only have one, and it's for his vaccine. And that's functioning adverbially because it's descending from a verb. It's answering a why question. So that's it for phrases in this sentence.